Alright, I'm gonna be reacting to this MatPat 25-minute video. Ripping the band-aid. Goodbye, internet. I actually think he's being for real. I deadass think he's being for real. Oh my god. Oh my god. Come on, do a little clickbait. Please. Please.
It's not clickbait.
Fuck!
On March 9th, I will be hosting my last Theory episode.
March 9th, that's 4 days away from my birthday. I'm only going to be thinking about that. You ruined my birthday, MatPat. You ruined my year. You ruined my decade. Fuck you, MatPat. Is he being...
At which point, I'll be handing off the channels to someone else.
No, everybody else in Team Theorist is lame as fuck.
There it is. That's it. Send tweet. We're all done here. That's all you need to know, right? Oh, wow.
Don't you have fun making theories? I see you laughing and giggling. Who cares about your bitch-ass son? I know he's doing this because of his son. He has like this bitch-ass ugly son that does not deserve anything in this world. I deserve to be his son. I'm actually his son biologically, but he does not like to acknowledge it. But I mean, he's a father, man. But I know it's a lot of work. He has to read a script, like type it out, think of it. I know he has a team that helps him with that, but man, he's a YouTube icon. I know he has a lot of subscribers on all channels, but he low-key is underrated at the end of the day.
Forgive me, by the way, if I'm a little bit more disorganized than usual. Normally, I would want to script out something like this pretty precisely. But with an announcement like this, I wanted to bring it back to just us. There's no one else in the room. There's no teleprompters. There's no nothing.
Yeah, except
it's just the way that this whole thing started. It's a conversation between us. And sorry that I keep getting emotional about this. I'll try not to, but it's a big deal.
Oh, you're a good king.
You know, like, if you think about it, this channel
15
is
years
Steph and my first child, really.
I'm
Before we had Ollie, before we had Skip, Catbat, like, it was this. This was our baby. This channel has been going for 13 years.
Yeah.
I think in total it's somewhere around like 1,200 theories. And only half of those are FNAF. Shocking. I know, we actually did stuff that wasn't FNAF related.
Wow.
But this has been a literal third of my life. And I'm going to miss you.
Oh, I'm gonna miss it.
I'm going to miss this. I value what we have.
Holy shit!
I value this conversation, this openness, this relationship that we
tear
share.
coming down. It was a single tear.
And I'm sad that I won't be able to see you every week.
Why are you sloppy?
Then I guess prompts the question of like, why?
Yeah, why? I mean, every good thing comes to an end. Mr. Beast will not live forever. He has to die. Like, khalas, it's finito. Like, everything has to come to an end. Everybody dies. Like, it is what it is. Like at one day, it will end. Whether he dies at 90, whether he gets ran over the next day, it will end. So, man, but it's so...
Why am I doing this now? Why am I making this announcement today? Why am I walking away from the channels? But to be honest, it was Tom Scott. You can blame Tom Scott.
I knew it!
Tom just did his farewell video, and I'm like, well, he was able to do it. I want to be able to fly away in a helicopter. Obviously, that's not it.
You're actually such a dickhead.
But really,
he got peer pressure
for making this announcement today is probably largely the same as Tom's Reasons, or Seth Everman's, or Captain Sparkles, or Papa Meats, or Stampy Longheads. Like, there's a lot of these videos that are coming out these days, and there's going to be a lot more happening throughout this year. Steph and I have known this video would be coming for the last 3 years.
What the
We weren't
hell?
sure it was necessarily going to be today. We didn't know exactly when it would fall, but
So you got
we
peer
knew
pressured.
it was going to happen eventually. That's why over the last couple of years we've been staffing up so much. That's why we partnered with a larger company to help run the channels. That's why we've been spending so much time outside of this box training up the team to make the best videos that they can.
I want PNG
We knew
Mappa!
that we couldn't do this forever. We knew that, honestly, we didn't want to do this forever. For as much as I love you, and I love overthinking things, and I love theorizing, I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade.
Get yourself a Diet Pepsi
I'm
or
sitting
Coke.
down at dinner with my best friend, and we're talking about business logistics. Or we're talking about animatronic toes. I miss the days where I could just sit down on the couch with her and play video games, and it's not for content. Or I'm playing a game and I'm not thinking about what theories are going to come out of that. I miss it. So that's a big reason. That was a big one right there. But also just the internet's changing. My life has changed in the last 13 years. I mentioned Dolly before. He's the coolest little dude. And he's getting older by the minute. And I watch him, and he has so much fun.
How old is he now?
He is so much smarter than I was when I was his age. He also probably knows the FNAF lore better than I do, which is a problem that I should probably address at some point. But honestly, I want to be able to spend more time with him. Another sad fact of the matter is I'm getting older. I'm 37 now.
Holy shit! He's 37? No wonder he comes off as a cringy dad. Because he is a cringy dad. What the hell? He's 37? I thought PewDiePie was old when he was like 30. And dude, when you hit 30 as a YouTuber, like a YouTube icon, it feels so weird. But he's 37. He's damn near 40. And there's nothing wrong with your age. But
the other day, I actually had to Google my own age. And you know that when you have to start like doing math in your head to calculate how old you are over the hill, my friends. Though to be fair, to my credit, I think I'm like the only 37-year-old out there who has an unironic appreciation of Skibidi Toilet. Then again, maybe that's the problem, right? Like, maybe that's not a good thing.
I will never forgive you for that theory.
Because this is all about us being honest. There is a bit of a selfish side to this. When you think about it, there's only really two ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like,
core Kenshin,
or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe, and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me and my journey in this place, I always wanted to go out on a high note. And when you stop and look at the last year, this has been the best year in the theorist lifespan
amazing
ever. Like, no joke. It is our highest view year. It is the year where we launched Style Theory and immediately put our foothold in a brand new space, and that took off, and now we're one of the top style and fashion channels on YouTube. And that kind of completes the trifecta of, hey, we now have a top channel in 4 different verticals that are completely different.
Yeah, that's my problem. The style one is absolute dog shit. I love you, Matt Pat. That's cute. You shoved on sports. That would have opened up your audiences to so much more people.
And I watch them, and all of a sudden I start hearing people just casually dropping, "That's just a theory."
It's just a theory, a game theory.
Now this is just a theory, people.
At the end of the day, it's just a game theory.
That's just a theory. A Freebirds theory.
Also a lot of lore, so if you're a big theory head, proceed at your own risk.
I did not know about this theory.
That's a theory.
Okay. That right there, that is incredible.
Icon.
That's the note that I want to leave on. And that's how you just know it's the right time. All of those reasons coming together, saying, hey, this is the moment. And that's hard to say. Because
so
change
handsome.
is scary. Change is
It
hard.
is. I don't like it.
But sometimes the right decision
my
isn't the easy
boredom
decision.
For 10 years.
The easy decision would just be to carry on doing this and do FNAF Part 332.
Who's going to do
That
FNAF?
wouldn't be the right decision. I think the best way to explain it is with a video game analogy. Feels appropriate, right? Whoa, it's game theory. Did it.
It's just
check the game part of it off. But the way I like to think about it is Earthbound. I think I've made it pretty clear over the years that is, without question, my favorite game of all time. Sans' Nest, all that, you're all familiar with that. But what you might not be familiar with at this point is how the game ends. At the end of Earthbound, after you save the world, everything opens up to you. You can revisit every single location that you've been to. You can talk to every NPC that you met on your journey. And it's this incredible moment as a gamer. You see just how many lives have been impacted thanks to your journey. And then after spending as much time as you want talking to all those people, you end up back home. You go back to where it all began, where you were just a kid waking up in bed and starting your adventure. And even though your mom's there and your dog's there and your weird telephone dad's there, it feels different somehow. Like, sure, this is still a place of love and acceptance and comfort and security, but you just don't quite fit anymore. Because you just traveled the world. You made all these new friends. You are different. You grew up. And your relationship to this place grows up. It evolves. In case you couldn't tell, I'm Ness, which I guess would also mean that I'm also Sans, but I was also Ness in the FNAF movie, which just
What the
opens up
hell?
all sorts of weird canon. Slap a thumbnail on that one. So anyway, there you have it. That is why I'm leaving. I hope you can
Because you're
understand.
Ness?
But that obviously begs the question of like, what happens to the channels? Well, for the next 10 weeks, we're going to have ourselves a big old going away party. If Unis Honest taught us anything, it taught us that you probably shouldn't use urine for a personal sauna. But if Unis Honest taught us two things, one was to not soak in your own urine, but two was to appreciate the time that you have left. So that's why over the next 10 weeks, we're going to have a bunch of theories that are going to be a lot of fun, revisiting old favorites, getting some closure on things. We're going to see some familiar faces, a lot of awesome stuff. Although to be fair, I think it's 9 weeks, and I think we counted this one as week 1. That was stupid of us. That, my friends, is how you
9
wind up
weeks of
getting
map
Wario being 10 feet tall. Mathematical rigor. Should have double-checked the numbers. So I have 9 theories left on each of the channels, but we're going to call them Matt Pat's Final 10 because that just sounds better. At which point then on March 9th, we're going to have that big going-away celebration, Matt Pat's Final Theory, and I just dust away. I stand astride my music man, and I just whip it.
I don't think he's gonna go away. I think if like FNAF does something crazy, like one of them Afton is actually not their father and he's actually like the stepfather, I feel like Matt Pat will be foaming from his mouth and literally jump onto the camera. Not even on this channel. He'll just create a channel. He'll look like a maniac. He's like, so basically, there's no way he's not gonna have the itch like an addict to come back. At least for FNAF.
Nay off into the distance, but then something special happens. Do the channels go away with me? No, actually.
Yeah, it's a
I've
business.
always thought that anyone can be a theorist, right? If you are passionate about a topic and you love to overthink it and over-research it, then congratulations, you're a theorist. And that could range from, hey, I have family recipes that I'm constantly looking to refine, to, hey, I want to create the perfect fantasy sports team. Because here's the thing, sports pros, at the end of the day, if you are in the statistics and numbers and doing calculations to see if your team won or lost, you're just playing a glorified Dungeons and Dragons game.
Dude, I don't know why he didn't make a sports channel. I deadass don't know why. He made Style Theory. That is the biggest piece of dog shit. I love you, Matt Pat. I love your passion. I love the vision. No, the vision was low-key stupid. You can make like 3 videos max. I don't get it. I actually really don't get it. With sports, you have basketball, this, that, histories, futures, presents you can talk about. The only reason he didn't do it, he would get a wider audience. Only reason he didn't do it is because look at his little team theorists. They're all geeks. They're nerds. They're losers. No, I'm kidding. But like, they don't really have the passion, or that's gonna give them extra work to kind of research and know about like basketball. Because you can't just you can make a theory about brushing your teeth. All you have to do is research the history of it. But for basketball, you kind of have to know the rules, do this, look at the history, know the GOAT debate. You know what I'm saying? If he did, Jimmy High Roller, if he did something like that, but for all sports in his little MatPat PNG, best thing ever. That would make me happy.
I hate to break it to you, you're one of us, my friends. And sure, Game Theory is a format that I created. It's a show with this very excitable host who makes a lot of cringy dad jokes and says the word lore a lot. But lore! It's more than just the host. It is a show. It is a format. And in a broader sense, it is a state of mind. It's a way of thinking and approaching the world around you. It's more than just the host. And when you think about it, not a lot of YouTube channels function that way. We're special in that regard. Like, you're not going to be able to get another Markiplier stepping into the Markiplier channel. And you're never going to be able to recreate Jenna Marbles. And to be honest, you're never going to get another Matt Pat either. But you can have another game theorist. You can have another film theorist or food theorist or style theorist. I think in a lot of ways, we almost function kind of like the Doctor Who of YouTube.
I don't like the people he has, because I've noticed this. For Style Theory, he has like this one emo girl. For Game Theory, he has like this one plus size dude. That's what I'm going to say, with like a patchy beard. For Food Theory, he has Santi the goat. And then for Film Theory, he has that one British dude. Like, he already has these predecessors, these apprentices, these servants already coming up to take the spot.
Where as one host fades away, a new one kind of respawns in their place. And they're able to put their own
like
unique spin and flavor on the format and make it their unique thing. You have eras of the different theorist channels. And so, my era is fading away and someone new is coming in. Maybe this is the David Tennant to Matt Smith transition, right? I was good, solid series of episodes right there. So
I had a
who
good
then
solo
is
one.
going to be
The
taking
Steve
over
Harvey
the
one.
channels? Well, I
Family
don't
Feud.
know if you've noticed this, but fewer
Yeah.
and fewer of the words that I'm saying in any given episode are actually mine. If you go down to the credits, you can actually see in the description that there are certain names that have been appearing more and more frequently. Like, yeah, I'm listed on every single one as the writer because I touch every single script, I polish it into my voice, but in all honesty, the bulk of what I'm saying is coming from someone else. It's their research, it's their work. Why should they have to filter their creativity through my voice? I've always envisioned these channels as a place where we could spotlight all sorts of creators. I mean, it even goes back to the original URL of this channel, right? It isn't game theory, it was always the game theorists, because this was a place where you could find a lot of like-minded creators, all with a passion for gaming and education. That's why we had the partner shows like Gaijin Goomba with Culture Shock, or Drake with Smash History, or Ryder with A Brief History, or Austin with The Science, and Lee with The Breakdown. They were all here because we all had a similar
I learned that
goal,
Austin
to
did.
educate people through the lens
I did
of
not like
gaming.
him.
And then YouTube pivoted and then made it so that way doing a channel in that style doesn't really work anymore. But we still try to keep that ethos alive by making sure that we're regularly covering small indie projects. Stuff like OnlyCans, like Mandela Catalog, like OWO. OWO? See? I learned. But if we're doing that for all these other creators, why aren't we doing it for the creators on our own staff who have been in the trenches doing the research, writing these words to
Trenches,
deliver to
ooh.
you over the last couple years?
What do you know
I
about
have
the
been
trenches?
fortunate. I have been so blessed to have this platform available to me that you've given me over the last 13 years. But I think now it's time to pass it on to the next generation. It's time to give someone else a shot. But I realize that I'm getting off
15.
track here.
Please
So
do
back to
15
the question.
years.
Who's taking over? First off, it's not going to one person,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
rather
I knew it, I knew
four.
it, I knew it.
would not
I knew
wish
it.
my schedule on anyone. Like, sure, I'm willing to not sleep for the last 13 years of my life, but I feel like as old man YouTube passing this along to the next generation, I should probably do my best to try and make it more
when he was
sustainable
young.
for them. It's also going to people that you're already familiar
Yes,
with. You've seen
of
them
course.
showing up in shorts.
Look, the
You've seen them
girls.
here on the couch with me for GT
Santi,
Live.
the British dude.
You've sometimes seen them
That one
washing
plus
their
I
hair
did.
with me in my own shower. Don't read too much into that, but it is accurate. Most importantly, though, they're each an expert in their own individual subject matter, and they've been spearheading the creative of the channels for the better part of the last year. And I think what's maybe the most fascinating about all of this is that each of the four of them come to us from a completely different angle. You know, so for instance, you have Lee, right? Lee's going to be taking over Film Theory, and Lee has been with us for 10 years. 10 years. It's
Okay, well, I got the
crazy.
game
I
and,
believe
film
he was
mixed up.
actually editor number 3 for the channels. We had Ronnie, and then we had Ryder, Foot of a Ferret, and
Didn't
then
one of them,
we
like,
had Lee.
kill
I think his
themselves?
first theory that he ever worked on was Rosalina's Peach's daughter, Peach is Dead. One of my all-time favorite episodes that we've ever done on the channel. And over time, he rose up. He had his own show on the channel here. He had Breakdown, which were these just beautiful documentaries that were edited in such an incredible way. And since then, he's been spearheading a lot of the creative on both the writing and the visual side. And then, of course, you have Amy over on Style Theory. And Amy is actually a very different case here. When she first approached us, I think it was 6 years ago, she didn't know about the channels. All she knew was that she wanted to learn everything that she could about digital video, and that Theorist was kind of the place that you went to learn that stuff. Like, we were the best when it comes to analytics and optimization and programming and things like that. She got in and she just devoured everything that we threw at her. So much so that she eventually got to the point where she was so good that she was consulting the largest mobile game company in the world based off of the stuff that we were working on here in studio. It's incredible. And all of that while being responsible for packaging somewhere around like 500 episodes across all the channels. And then she helped me and Steph brainstorm Style Theory for 2 years before the channel eventually launched, hoping that maybe one day she would be able to rise into the hosting role for it. And now here it is. And then, of course, you have Santi and Tom. Santi over on Food Theory and Tom over here on
so I
Game
got the
Theory.
British dude
and
and, Lee
interestingly
mixed
enough,
up.
they both grew up watching Game Theory.
Holy
we were their childhood
guacamole.
show, which,
You're
to be
my
fair, just
childhood
shows
show.
how old we are. Santi would eventually go work at Mythical with Rhett and Link before coming here, where he is bravely spearheading Food Theory and letting me
goat,
mercilessly make fun of
Santi!
all of his recipes. He's much better than I give him credit for. I just like giving him a hard time. And then
Bro, in Food Theory, I remember, what's it called? MatPat would do stuff with his wife. Like, it didn't have to be with his wife, but if you want to, like, try out wings or, like, ice cream, he'd do it with his wife. And I've noticed in the past episodes, he damn near replaced her with Santi, and he looks like he's having more fun, and he's blushing more with Santi. Look, he was literally just on his bicep earlier. This dude loves Santi. He's about to replace his wife with Santi.
Tom, he worked at Disney and Fox, but he knew all along that he wanted to be here, right? Like, this was his aspirational goal. He wanted to write here. He emailed us a cold email outreach. We just miraculously saw it, decided to audition him, and he crushed it. His first episode that he worked on was actually watching every single installment of the Pokemon anime to calculate Pikachu's level. And to be fair, that was his pitch. Like, I have asked people to do some crazy things in the past, but not even I'm that brutal. Like, you can only watch Team Rocket blast off so many times, but he's like, this is an episode I'm passionate about. I think I'm going to knock it out of the ballpark, and I'm going to show you how committed I am. And he has been so committed ever since. So committed, in fact, that I told him, hey, if you're joining the channels, you do realize that you're going to have to read every single FNAF book. And he's like, boom, he did it. And we're up here going crazy in the FNAF addict. But not only did he read every FNAF novel, he also read every single Hello Neighbor book.
Hello Neighbor book?
He went that far. Currently, he's working his way through Bendy because the new movie's coming out. There's nothing else. I think that really proves his level of commitment and also his appropriate level of insanity. He's a bit off the cuff at times. Like, I don't know if you saw on a recent GT Live, but Tom was here on the couch with me, and he actually denied that the moon existed, which was a choice.
Main character from the chat says, that sounds like somebody who doesn't have a flag on the moon.
I mean, that's if you believe it's even that.
The moon?
I don't think he actually believes that, but if he does, we're going to get some weird Majora's Mask theories, let me tell you. When I go out at this point, I am recognized at least 5 times. It's crazy. It's a really high
Good,
number
you're an
at this
icon.
point.
You're a
And
king.
It's a fascinating split because 50% of the time it's like, oh my gosh, you're Matt Pat. You were my childhood. I loved watching your FNAF theories. And I'm always like, well, you know, the FNAF's still going. And they're like, what? No way. And we talk about the new game and it's always really fun. But the other half is, oh my gosh, you're Matt Pat. You are my childhood. I'm watching you right now. I loved your most recent theory. That's awesome. That's such an honor. I've been so honored to be a part of all of your lives. But I think it's time for someone else to have that honor. I think it's time for someone else to get to ruin some childhood. And that just kind of leaves us with one final question, right? Which is, what about me? You know, where do I go? Do I just retire to a beach somewhere? Do I whip a nene off into the distance? No, I'll still be here. Obviously, first off, we've got our final 10 episodes, like I said. So that's
just make it to 15 years.
Just however many episodes are left between now and March 9th. We got those. I'm going to be on GT Live from now until the foreseeable future, probably until the end of the summer. That feels about right. And then we have the big going away video on March 9th. After that, I, stand aside as Santi, Lee, Amy, and Tom step up and take over the hosting role. But I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be alongside the creative directors talking about programming, brainstorming ideas for upcoming episodes. That's awesome. I want to hear his PNG. I don't want to give that up. But the other cool thing about this is that it opens up the door for me to turn the script. For the last 13 years, I've been commenting on other people's IP, but now that I'm stepping out of those roles, I get to create the IP. Still as a part of Theorist, but I get to create things that are going to challenge those new hosts of the channel. Things that I've had in the back of my mind from years of studying media that I can now make a reality, and the channels can comment on them. Things like, for instance, I have a lo-fi mystery series that I think you're really gonna dig. It's basically like if you took a lo-fi channel and applied an ARG narrative to it, it becomes lore-fi.
Oh my God!
So stoked about this. The music is sounding really good. The animations are coming together really well. That's gonna be launching in a couple weeks. We'll see if Lee over on Film Theory is gonna be able to solve it. In April, I'm actually gonna be coming back onto Style Theory to host a giant fashion show that we're doing there. We all collectively had this thought of like, hey, online brands, online influencers are coming up with their own apparel lines. Why is there no place to showcase that sort of stuff? And then it hit us like, hey, we have a style and fashion channel. Why aren't we doing it ourselves? Creators in Fashion by Style Theory, that is coming to you in April, hosted by me. Some of the time that I'm not hosting the channels, I'm going to be practicing my runway walk. Because let me tell you, if I'm sashaying down the runway, if I'm stomping the runway, it's not going to be pretty.
You don't need to practice
right now, so I need to practice.
You don't need to practice.
A little bit. There's also this animation show that we did a pilot for in like the middle of last year. It's basically like if you took Gravity Falls but aged it up and made it about adulting. It's really solid. And also there's this video game idea that I want to do for like so long that I've never had the opportunity to really like dive into and make reality.
So many
now it's my chance to step into the role of Scott Cawthon and challenge the new game theorist. There's always been the memes about are Scott Cawthon and I the same person? Not yet. But who knows? Maybe starting later this year. And those are just the immediate things that I have on my to-do list because
he has a game, a
I want to
TV
make
show,
fun, cool things for you.
Fashion
and
walkway.
Even if it's not a weekly episode, I still want to give those things to you because I think you'll like them. You matter to me. You
matter
are
to me.
so important to me.
You are so
Every
important
single
to
one of
me.
those people who stopped me on the
Been
street.
carrying me for 10
an
years.
honor, right? It's interesting. Because of this whole transition, I've been thinking a lot about my time on these channels and the evolution that we've gone to together. In the beginning, right, I was kind of like the edgy older brother where I would talk about like, oh, did you know that Link is dead? And let's make some boob jokes. And then at a certain point, I evolved into Dad Pat, right? I became a little bit more mature. I had the team around me. I had to be more careful about who I was saying was dead on a regular basis. Instead of talking about boobs, I ended up talking about Luigi's bulge. That felt like the right decision. At this point, I think I'm kind of evolving into a grandpa Pat, you know, for lack of a better term. And just like your grandparents, hopefully cool grandparents, but just like a grandparent, you know, you don't get to see me all the time. And I don't get to see you all the time.
It's hard.
And maybe we call and talk to each other every once in a while. But at the end of the day, that grandpa loves getting to see you. Maybe he shows up at a special event. Maybe he shows up at a holiday. Maybe he shows up at the Theory Wear fashion show. Who knows?
Absolutely kills it, slay.
But he so looks forward to seeing you. And the love that he has for you, it doesn't go away. That grandpa is so proud of you. And he cherishes the relationship that you've had so much. And he is so honored to be a part of your life. To have been a part of helping you grow and helping you experience the world. And he looks forward to seeing you at the next event. And if you see him on the street, we'll hang out. And hopefully he brings you cool, fun gifts. I know this is going to sound cheesy. And I know the internet will probably rake me over the coals for crying for one, but I love you guys. I do.
I love you more. Love you more.
You're not just numbers.
You're such a good human being.
You're not just ad impressions. You're not just merch sales. What you have done for me, and from everyone I talk to, what I've done for you is special. It's special. When I was in middle school, I had this goal of making the world a better place because I had been a part of it. It didn't have to be big. It didn't have to be curing cancer. But I wanted there to have been a ripple impact. Just because I was there. Butterfly effect and all that. We've done it. I think we've been able to achieve something great here. You have taken me on the wildest, craziest 13-year ride of my life.
You have been carrying me for 10 years. Every single week you have uploaded. I love you.
Grandpa Pat is going to sign out now. And I'll be around for a couple more weeks. I'll be living around the house for a while. Have a big family reunion celebration.
Oh my God.
And I'll go off to my little shack in the woods, my retirement home down in Florida. And I'll pop in every once in a while. Anyway, at this point in my notes, I had it written that we're going to start a countdown clock of that final 10 episodes.
You're so goofy.
Final 9 episodes. So start that. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. Hopefully the editors don't rip off Unisana's too much. If they do, I hope they change it. And with that,
Honest. I already made so many theories about that.
With that, I'm going to say, for one of the final times, not the final time, but one of the final times.
Please don't.
As always, my friends, remember,
please don't.
Just a theory. A game.
God damn it. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Wow. I've been watching that man for 10 years. I've been watching him for 10 years. That's actually insane to think about. You are my hero. Da, 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 da. Well, he's actually so handsome. But man, I've been watching this dude for 10 years. I I know for a fact he is a good human being. I don't think he's ever done anyone wrong or been in any drama or any like. He is just such a nice teenager, dad slash grandpa slash caregiver to me. Man, I know that's one song by Usher. You say Daddy's home, home for me. Wow, Daddy's leaving. Daddy's not gonna be home. Granddaddy is not gonna be here. Spoon, like, I want PNG MatPat to talk on a very highly educated video that probably took a mountain of money to create. I want a PNG of MatPat to soothe me to bed, to get me through my day. Man. As always, it's just a game theory. A game